Okay, welcome back guys. Today's project is something a little different. I got off of work a little early. It is crazy hot, so I'm not gonna work on this right now. I'll probably wait until the sun goes down a little before I start messing with this. So in anticipation of what is coming up, this came from Amazon today. Now I sourced this out through a couple websites, some really reputable companies, and they're all a couple dollars more than what Amazon was selling it for. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Not very easy. Oh man. Oh boy. This is the resonator box. So I am gonna actually do something a little different. What I'm gonna do, I don't want this resonator here on the top. So I may cut that off, put a block off plate, or I may make my own tubing out of fiberglass. So we'll see what I want to do with that. And these are the couplers. Don't need that for later. So I forgot what Toyota calls this, but in actuality, since the 1950s, this is called a velocity stack. They made some kind of fancy word for it now. What it does is as the air passes over the horn increases air velocity, thus increasing air mass going into the engine, which will bring us up to our next subject later. More couplers. Oh god, that fell down. And the TRD, upside down TRD. The top of the TRD air box and the air filter right in there. So what I'm gonna do today, as soon as the sun goes down so I don't end up sweating my butt off, we're gonna remove this guy, the Rough Country air intake. Now Rough Country doesn't say that they claim to be the most well, I guess they don't produce the most power. They don't claim to have the best customer service, but for the price point, they are pretty cheap. So now the reason I'm changing out from the Rough Country to the TRD box and not something like Engine or Holly has one. There's a bunch of companies out there, and so all these companies, and you can check with any tuner, they'll tell you this. When they measure horsepower, they'll say, yeah, I got our product is producing 17 horsepower with our intake. Our exhaust is producing another 10. Our catless downpipes are producing another 20. I have the Underdog Racing, I think, high flow cat Y pipe on this. Oh, that's gonna produce you another 20 horsepower. No, false. Maybe it does at 5,000 RPMs on a dyno. Okay, the real way, I mean, you can do all these kinds of crazy things, putting in a bigger throttle body. The ECU, the computer on these Toyotas are so good. No matter what you do, it's gonna try to seek an equilibrium, bringing everything back down to what the engineers have designed this thing for. And the computer is really great at it. What's even worse is my GTR. If you can tell, it's under there. The computer on that car is really irritating. You can go with a standalone Haltech. You can go with all kind of systems. I have a Ecutech computer on that car, so that's another story. But what we're gonna do today for the Tacoma, so I talked to the local tuner, and the local tuner suggested that I put the TRD intake on. I'm gonna be running the KD Max software system on the vehicle. That will maximize everything that I've done. Intake, exhaust, gears, all that kind of stuff. KD Max it remaps everything, your timing, your fuel, does everything you need that's essential to creating horsepower. no matter what you do with all your stock stuff, not stock, but aftermarket products, you can only allow in so much air. The computer will correct whatever you have done in order to bring it back to what it was designed to do, which is what the engineers and designers have programmed it for. So we're gonna try to see, it's hot, I'm sweating. So that's what we're gonna do today. Try to get this on when the sun cools down, and then take it to the local tuner and try to get all these things tuned out here. And that should yield the best results for what I'm trying to do at the current time. So if you are local here on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, instead of selling my rough country intake, I'm gonna give that thing away. So if you guys want to check it out, if you guys want it, whoever contacts me first somehow, I don't know, I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I'm gonna try my best to get in touch with whoever posts whatever comment first. I'll give that thing to you guys. Meet me somewhere. Yeah, it's yours. All right, so I'm gonna take off the rough country. I'm gonna put this one on. I'm gonna decide what I want to do with the intermediate pipe, or whatever you want to call this, and the noise resonator, because I don't want that. I'd rather have a straight shot of air that's flowing directly in. So got a lot of work to do when the sun goes down, and yeah, see you guys on the next video. Okay, so before I get started, it is hot, I'm sweating, oh my god. So I decided to go in the house, sit in the AC, play some Call of Duty Mobile. If you guys are lucky enough to find me, good luck. Okay, so the rough country intake is out. It was really quick, really easy. Then we're gonna attach this to the stock air box, which I'm gonna put back in. Okay, so loosen the windshield washer reservoir just to make things easier. What I did, or what I found out was the easier solution was, so the square part will go like this to the front of the vehicle. This notch should be around the 12 o'clock position. This part here will sit in the fender weld. This little groove here, this little what, ½ inch or 1 inch slot, this is where the fender will actually sit. So you're gonna squish it and pop it open. Just like that. Then you can take your stock air box, match up the holes and the slot. Ta-da! Just bolt it down. Actually, I am going to anti-seize the bolts. That way it's easier to come out the next time. This just makes life a little easier. Okay, so I'll put all the rest of the pieces on. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do about the air box resonator that's gonna go here. I might chop it off and figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is put the air filter on. I believe this is a dry system, TRD.
Pros and cons for dry systems and versus a chain and oil type split. We'll see.
Then we lock the pins down, put in the mass air sensor, put in the tube, couplings, and that's it. Okay, screw in the mass air sensor using the original hardware with the arrow facing to the throttle body. And then all there is left to do is put the couplers on and that other pipe and go for a test drive. Strip and half a turn back. No, just kidding. Okay. Pretty hard to mess this up. The coupler, if you're putting it on the intake side, you'll see 2 notches here, and that coincides with, where did it go? I don't know if you can see it. 2 notches here, 1 notch here. Okay, so 2 for 2 and 1 for 1 with the other side. Pretty simple. Wrong way. There you go. Don't forget your rings. Your worm drives, I mean rings. What am I talking about?
Two, go for 2.
You know what? It's probably easier if we take off the top part first. On and then we're good to go. Okay, so we're all done. This is what it looks like. What I would do is start from the throttle body side first, align the little alignment marks, and then align your alignment marks. Once all that is good and set up, then go ahead and clamp down your the top of the airbox. I'll do a separate video for the oil catch can. This is a this is a Walmart. I mean, not Walmart. Sorry, my bad. This is an Amazon product. It was only $30, not like was it JP, JT, something like that? The more expensive ones that are about $200. And what it does is it takes dirty crankcase pressure from the crankcase breather. The oil goes into here, separates, and then returns back here. I tried running it without it, and the truck yeah, did not run too good. So that was that. There's another one on the other side. I'm gonna do the same thing and see how those work. So far so good. Now the conversion, going back to the TRD type air cleaner system, this was in recommendation for the tune that I'm going to be running, and I'll go over that later with the tune that I decided to go with, the KD Max. Orange Virus was one of the newer, one of the beginning ones that first started it, but there's a lot of advancements in tuning now, and I'll go over why I chose them versus some of the other one, Overland or something like that. I forget what the other one was, but anyway, yeah. So I just decided not to waste my time with a pedal commander. Just my personal preference, that was not the smartest thing in the world to do, to get a pedal commander. You're gonna spend over $300 to gain how much horsepower? Nothing. Yeah, so came out pretty good. Next is a trip down to the tuner. All right, thanks guys. Okay, so I took the cover off. What I decided to do with the oil separator, I drilled 2 holes in case I ever wanted to, and I tapped it, and in case I ever wanted to mount it to somewhere I could. But what I'm gonna do is on the edge of the box, because it's only plastic, I'm gonna take these 2 screws off, screw the bracket to the air box, then I'm gonna put the oil separator back onto the bracket with these 2 screws. And all it's doing is taking the crankcase breather, coming in here, separating the oil and the air, and allowing clean air to go back into the throttle body, which it needs to for emissions. So once that's done, yeah, this project will be done. And then I probably might repeat the same thing to the other side. There is another crankcase breather valve on that side, and I do have 2 more of these oil separators. I just have to think what I want to do with the other one. I might just throw it into the 4Runner. So that's the end of this one, and I'll probably let you guys know in a couple months, maybe a year, how this thing is working. So far I've had this on for a couple months and it's been working pretty good. You can unscrew it from here and dump out whatever oil. There was only maybe 2 drops of oil in there so far, but yep, so far so good. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, there it is, finished product. All right, came out pretty good. Now I just gotta try and do the other side.